slightly behind schedule due to some technical issues beyond our control, and also trying to get the lines of guests aligned. All right, my name is Anthony Momodi. Welcome to today's Discourse, Midday Discourse. Usually we look at very salient issues making the rounds across the 36 states of the Federation and of something of national importance. So we're focusing today's edition on 2024. In the month of September, we're going to be having elections, global elections in Edo State. And so it means all political parties, especially the big political parties in the People's Democratic Party, the All Progressive Congress, talking about APC, Labour Party and others, are gearing up for the number one seat, talking about all aspirants in full gear, trying to get the number one seat in Edo State. The big talking point is what are the expectations of the electorate in Edo State? Who's going to win this number one seat? We know very much how feisty it has been for both the PDP and APC. Currently, we know that Philip Schreiber, who is the deputy governor of the state, is angling to become the governor of Edo State come September when the elections kickstart, and he'll be doing that coming from the People's Democratic Party. Already, big stories reaching us tells us that the APC have pruned down the large number of contestants who were gunning for the number one seat to number just 4 of them, and some big names have also been pruned out. So we'll be talking with one of the spokesperson of specifically Pastor Easy Iyamu's spokesperson in the person of Collins Osaige, who will be joining us via the phone call so that we can get his perspective, and also some other stakeholders in the state to give us a quick view as regards what the people of Edo State are looking forward to come September when the elections begin. All right, let's see if he will be joining us via the phone call so we can get his perspective. That will be after this quick break. Stay with us. All right, welcome to the program Midday Discourse on Global Television. Like I told you, we'll be talking with one of the spokespersons of the Aspirantr for Edo 2024. Good afternoon, Collins Osage. Nice to have you join us on Midday Discourse.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon, brother. Good afternoon, listener out there. God bless you.
All right, let's look at Edo 2024. We know that the APC has pruned down the number of aspirants. The PDP is also ready to go with Philip Schreiber in the mix to become governor of the state. Can you just give us a quick background how the people of Edo State are getting ready for the elections come September?
Thank you, my brother. To correct you, APC did not pull down any candidates or any of the aspirants. And what APC in Edo State probably was advised to do was to see how they can interface with some of the aspirants in order for them to reduce the number if some will be ready to step down for some. You know, out of the 29 that are aspiring, certainly all of them are interested in that race. Some I need as a way of distraction, and while some of them were being programmed, some persons probably wanted them or want them to play. So I can bet you that for now, no candidate have said they are stepping down for any. The body that was assumingly set up by our leader in the state, Comrade Adam Salih, who we see as a leader, and we pray by the grace of God he will behave in that such a manner, and so we continue to see him like a leader, is to see how they can interface with the aspirant. If in the case they said nobody is stepping down, they were supposed or they were able to go and purchase the form. Then the national body who has the right to conduct screening or who have the right to keep guidelines will then go ahead and do what they please them. It's not a local government election where states are given the opportunity to play around or do what they so wish. This is a national election, and the National Working Committee is solely entitled to give orders and directives on how to go about the election. So rather let's not misunderstood the public or give them wrong impression. Nobody was stepped down or disqualified because by law or by virtue or by moral, nobody has no right as concerns the state to do that. It is only the National Working Committee who indeed will set up his own committee can then either disqualify a candidate or make a recommendation to the National Working Committee on candidates. Then the National Working Committee as a body will not then resolve on what to do. Because even the party, by way of many references, have been proven that even the party as it were, do not really have the audacity to disqualify a member of the party from not participating because it is our right to do so. So if you unjustly disqualify candidates, we have had cases where the court have obtained such decisions, even by party leadership. So it's not a child's play. No one person can monopolize the party to himself or to herself or to a group of minority and leaving out the majority. So to give are very ready in Edo ahead of the election, and there is no alarm. Everything is very fine and everyone is happy. Those persons try to be mischievous or be mischievous, but that notwithstanding, it has really not taken away any of the excitement and wait people to receiving a brand new government that will direct Edo people on how to go. A brand new government that will respect the traditional institution, that will not undermine the people. A brand new government that will not be invited with MOU. A brand new government that will be very constructive. A brand new government that will do infrastructure and make Edo a modern one.
All right, let's look at the candidate. Now you are claiming that the APC has not pruned down the number of candidates. Let's look at the candidates that are vying for that number one seat. From the APC perspective, which are the top three candidates according to the electorates, the people of Edo State? Who are the people the electorates are gunning for? Who is more popular amongst? Who are the top three candidates that are popular amongst the Edo people?
The top three is not far from the people. The very number one there, I would not want to repeat number one to be number one, number two, number three. Otherwise, I would have said so. But just to be fair to others, who I know by virtue of morals, I must say the truth at all time. Number one of them is Pastor Sagi Isaiah, who we know have been a grassroots politician, a mobilizer, a man with structure, even outside the state. So Pastor Sagi Isaiah is a leading candidate that even those who are trying to play pranks are very much aware. But I think the fear that many think about him is that nobody will godfather him. And you know, when we continue to exhibit this attitude of godfatherity, that is where we have been, where we are. And that is why today we are happy that we have a president nobody will say is his godfather, and that is why he's in charge of government, and he can do things and things are monitored, and nobody will hold him to say, oh, you must do this, you must do that. So Pastor Sagi is number one on the list, and the second person, you can believe me, is also a very grassroots person, and he's very also close to the people. He's Mr. Amero from Edo North, popularly called Danko Filling Station. His name is Danko Filling Station Amero from Besakot area in Edo North Senatorial District. He's a man too that his humility knows no bound, and he's a very good man. And we believe that people like this cannot even be said to even be disqualified for any reason. So you can see that the fear of the people is, and the third person there you can trace directly to Barrister Washington Sifo. You know, a young man who has been in the struggle, a young man who has made a lot of sacrifices too. Yes, we a young man that is growing, and we believe that he also have an identity, you know, that can be reckoned with. So these are the first three we can boldly talk about. You know, who, because you tell us any than three, maybe I would have also addressed some other person.
Okay, you can add the fourth and the fifth person. Let's get a clearer picture, so that in case the first three do not win, maybe the last two might win.
Yes, we have also the person of Professor Sareba Osbo, who was the former governor, not a rocket politician, a humble.
Deputy Governor.
Comrade Philip Shaibu is a citizen of Edo State, having served in House of Assembly, House of Representatives, and did a deputy governor. But many will tell you have always been used for the role of a spoiler. Two, for that reason, many persons believe he shouldn't be considered at all. But as a Nigerian, as an Edo son, who indeed have also been in the system, he has every right to contest. And if the people so wish, he can then step up, or not to be coerced, or not to be paid by one man to say you must not contest or you must contest. That is the thing that are alien to us. How can somebody just come from nowhere and will not be the one dictating for people? If, for example, like Governor Godwin Obaseki now, he was never even in this picture of this game before. So brought him from nowhere, and he came from Lagos, and you can't come and start driving those who have been in the system and claim to be Superman. These are not where democracy is supposed to go. If we will talk about, like, for example, Comrade Sali Oshomole, he also came from somewhere. Somebody also brought, and you can also just come and say those who brought you, that you are not the all and all. Those are the things we are talking about. I was an aide to former Governor Sali Oshomole for quite a number of years. You know, I served as a consultant, and at the same time, I also served as senior special assistant to His Excellency, the former governor of Edo State, Comrade Sali Oshomole, on community and youth development. So we have this culture of wanting to create egalitarian society where everybody can fully participate. So we don't, and we will not encourage the system where some persons want to monopolize things on themselves. Having also come from the background of student unionism and also comradeship, we have this mindset that every attempt to want to undermine other is an attempt for oppression. And for the system we believe in, oppression is not allowed. It doesn't matter even if it's our father or our mother that is doing it. Philip Shaibu have the right to go to the race, and by moving which the party will decide to hold the primary, we then determine if he's asked to continue or if he's asked to stop. But for the general election, I can tell you, anything that have an affiliation with the present governor, we certainly have nowhere to go, because the administration have not only failed in infrastructure, have not only failed in human capacity, but have since disconnected itself with the people and from the people. And by so doing, you know, democracy is for the people, by the people, and indeed for the people. For the fact that you have monopolized democracy to yourself, you people have chosen to be far from you, and they have been far from you. For the fact that elections have come close, you cannot force them to come close. They have a way of taking their decisions.
All right, with what you've said, in some quarters, it's been rumored that Godwin Obaseki at a point was backing Pastor Easy Iyamu to succeed him. What's the true picture?
Yes. For real, that's true. At the time, not that they publicly say people must vote Pastor Sagi. When they serve no politicians, when they have a fight with another, they try to take a new alignment. Probably at that time, his fight and that of the former governor of the state, Adam Saliu, was not so very convenient, and he felt it was not really going to be easy for him to come back as a way of the record he has performed, and also having blackmail Pastor Sagi Seyamu with all their propaganda and all of that. Probably God touched him at that point, and he felt it was good. But when he now find his new baby that is sucking meat that he got from the banking world, and assuming that they were doing a lot of business together, probably equating their investments that they were doing that people do not know about, because we have not seen any of those investments anywhere around Benin. But he now said, okay, he has had somebody, and probably decided to make a new friend and a reverse, and started a new bride and relationship with former Governor Adam Saliu. We saw them at first of us in the party. We were very surprised at the way the relationship was going, because we felt if it was another person, it should have been said to be an anti-party. We saw a lot of rumors, even the G14 members that in the House of Assembly, that the governor refused to allow to participate in the administration of the state governors by way of being a legislator. We saw that even when the governor was dancing Bengalo, a lot of activities government has with the governor Obaseki recently, we expected that the issue of the G14 would have been a priority to him, because these people did not only fight for themselves, they fought and stood and made sacrifice for the former governor, Adam Saliu, not to be humiliated the way the governor of Edo State, His Excellency Governor Obaseki, had wanted to behave, by even asking not to come to Odo, even blocking him not to arrive in the airport, if not for the likes of Pastor Sagi Iseyamu and other companies who over the time mobilized to the airport and put machineries in place to make sure Adam Saliu was able to return back to Edo State.
All right, let's look at the issue of the former governor, which you've been mentioning. Would you say he's a godfather of some sorts to some of the aspirants? Talking about Oshomole, is he a godfather, and does he have any influence in these upcoming elections? Is he likely to play the role which Enrique is playing in Rivers State?
I have said that to many medias. I have said that, and I'll keep saying that. I do not want to believe that he's assuming authoritarianism, that he's assuming a dictatorial kind of leadership. Yes, it was also we who is being led that said, be our leader. The same we who too also said, be our leader, can also dethrone whoever we say to be our leader when the leadership is biased. When you are called a national leader, you are supposed to be very free and fair to all. But if you choose to begin to take side and act it in a way, yes, it's politics, one can say to have interest. More especially when you have people who are stolen from the people, who have enough money to bribe their way, and they can come and tell you to be loyal, just like Governor Obaseki did many years ago. Not because that one had money, but probably because it was his best man when he was marrying his wife, and he felt he was close to him, and based on that, he would support him at all costs. Even when we the Benin from Edo South said this was not our candidate, but our former principal, insisted that whether we like it or not, Governor Obaseki was going to be the governor and is the candidate. And so be it, he had his way, and the reverse was the case, and we later saw an emperor. But that's to say that as a good leader, you must learn from past experience. In past experience, he has been a governor, he has been a national chairman, he has been a labor leader, he's presently a senator. What then does we want God to do for him that God hasn't done for him? So we expect that by now he will be a true statesman. And we want to assume that he's a true statesman, because we have not directly heard from him. Though even some persons who are very close to him have been propagating that he has said they should carry a particular candidate. In all, we must accept this candidate. There are jobs that are made for men, and there are jobs that are made for boys. For the fact that you are hold a leadership position does not mean you are a man and fit enough for a particular job. So to be a governor is not a small thing. It's not a job you just wake up, become because you assume people are. No, not because you have used, for example, a constituency opportunity to buy machine or buy granite and share for people. That is not what qualifies you to contest for an election. When before you became all this, for example, at what point did you use your personal money to reflect or touch life? Show us the video and the kids. So if you have been asked to do something by way of already giving you a responsibility, and you are doing that which you were asked to do, not even in full complete, you can only be using that, for example, as a track record. That is not a record. If you want to talk about humanity service, talk about the things you do when you have not been collecting bourgeois salary, when you have not been collecting allowances and millions in dollars, when you have not been involved in constituency projects where many of them were probably inflating the jobs and budget. So we don't want to go in, but what we think is right is that you have somebody who has been part of this party time immemorial, somebody who built this party, somebody who has endured at all time, somebody who has been humiliated and was steadfast. I think it's just sensible enough to know how to say thank you to people who have paid their price. If my brother and I were to go to the university and my father doesn't have complete money to send both of us to the university at the time, and they say, okay, you the elder one, you go first, when you are two, and this person should come and also go. And it was pertinent for me. I haven't done my first degree. I should start doing my master's ambition and also allow the brother to go to the university. But if I continue to now become greedy and say I haven't also done my master's degree, I am not the one to now dictate who my father then will sponsor, you know, and not even me. So it doesn't make sense. So I think it is going to be coherent and ideal, because we have also had a lot of memories we have tried to remind the people, even where our leader, Comrade Adam Saliu Osomole, by himself stated in a video, I can send it to you when you are through from this interview with me. He said Pastor Sagi said I must spend time for him in 2012, and that was honorary, but he was very apologetic for every utterances he had made it before. But he was ill-advised, you know, by those who were desperate to make them become enemy. And probably so that he can support them to become prophet. So all of that we can also explain all of that and then say thank you by way of support, and as a party, give ticket to Pastor Sagi Andrew Iseyamu.
All right, let's look at, you've talked so much about the aspirant and the godfathers, godfathers in Edo. So let's look at the electorate themselves. I want you to be sincere to me. Who are the people, the aspirants, the people are really, rooting for?
Now, to be candid and factual with you, in 2016, I did not support Pastor Sagi Iseyamu.
Why?
Because as at that time, because as at that time in 2016, I was still special assistant to Governor Adam Saliu Osomole, and we were in the same party. And as a party man, I really didn't want to see myself involving in that party.
Okay.
And I didn't want to change party as at that time, and as a young man that I was. And being a party man, I had to work with the governor who later jettisoned all of us, which was Governor Obaseki. You and I agree in that election. It was a narrow escape for us. Pastor Sagi who did not have all the federal support, who did not have the state support, who did not have the mechanism of the state or the security apparatus and even that of the government to use, still was able to give us that fight, that it was just only one local government that there was an issue that almost took overnight that actually declared His Excellency Governor Obaseki in 2016. It was a clear narrow escape. And that drop went down to 2020. And you can see with the margin and the number Iseyamu got in 2016, even without all those support I'm talking about, that will tell you is the governor of the streets and governor of the people. And in 2020, when he came again, you know that there was not an anti-party that was being done by many governors at that time. I am coming, sir. Let me finish the analysis.
Okay.
In 2020, there were a lot of anti-party that took place from some ministers who were loyal to former President Buhari, who indeed was bent to demystify and bring that election for down because Comrade Adam Saliu even pointed towards him and all. And they felt the former national chairman at that time messed up with some of them, offended them, so wherever he was the problem. And it was also information from the former first lady whose brother was denied by national chairman at that time, Comrade Adam Saliu, from not assessing the governorship of Adamawa. So there were a lot of things, and some governors who are ganged up against Adam, they poured all the anger against Israel election in 2020. Even with that anger that they poured, you also saw that he won that election, but because of the power that be, some things also checked. A man who could garner over 200,000 in a vote, where he did not get the federal right, he did not get the state apparatus and the state security, over 200,000 votes. Can agree with me that wasn't a joke. And the governor also got 300 and a fraction. And the difference they had was about 40,000 people. And even with the conflicting and the intimidation that took place, right, there is nothing to tell you that people in the street are 100. In short, they are even now 99% ready to deliver Pastor Osage and Isaiah.
All right, in September we know that. Let's look at the election umpire now, looking at INEC. What's the guarantee that we're going to get free, fair, and credible elections in Edo State? You made mention of the fact that state apparatus was used and for Governor Obaseki in that time, and that was what aided him to win the elections. That is indicting the setup then, your leader then, talking about Shomole, that he used the state apparatus to aid Governor Obaseki's win.
Yes, allow me
is there a guarantee that this time around we're going to have a free, fair elections without Governor Obaseki using the state apparatus to influence the elections?
Yes, that is why I told you, even with the state apparatus involvement, when I mean state apparatus, there are a lot of things that are involved. Now, as a governor, you have a lot of aids, you have security vote to intimidate your opposition. Sometimes you use the vigilantes and all of that. Yes, Adams used the strength of his appointee as at that time. Probably you will not fear the fact that in politics, there are so many things that will involve. But when you thought it would be more free and fair, and you were no more vigilant, you can be taken unaware. So I will learn from the past experience. I can bet you that now we have a federal system, that we have sure previous elections that have taken place, in different states. We saw the role the federal government played without being biased. Even with the opposition had it, they gave it to them. It was even the opposition agreed that nobody was being molested. Even those people who contested under the platform of the party agreed that the system did not handle them or work against them, but it was neutral and probably their best wasn't enough. So all that wasn't there before. What was there before was to use the instrument of government to fight whoever they didn't want. Even when Buhari was in government, Buhari government fought APC in Edo, probably because there were a lot of division at the national level as at that time. So at that time, Oshiomhole was doing his own. That was why they sacked him as a national chairman, using Obaseki's influence from his own world. Obaseki and Felicia Ebu influence from Oshiomhole's own unit, his own world. That was where the suspension started from, where they removed him. How can you imagine a man who gave so much, even to the constituency where he come from? They did not even mind. The governor was able to use the apparatus of the governor to make sure some kangaroo members were set up that removed him. So that's what I'm saying. So in a system where you have a center that is to be free, Obaseki certainly cannot be fair at any point. You saw the local government election that he conducted. Yeah, he saw that two people told him that in the next election, await an iron, because you molested them, you embarrassed them. Even the common men were very angry, and I can bet you that memory has not even left there. So, but for we are ready to be more vigilant, we are ready to be more committed, and we need a man who knows the track. The man who knows the track is Pastor Osage and Isaiah.
Okay,
we'll also be able to check. We'll also be able to check anti-parties.
My question is INEC. You're deviating from my question. My question: are you expecting a free, fair election from INEC?
INEC does not work in isolation. INEC work with people. People have been let me use the word. People have been brought over. INEC cannot be itself also be the adult staff and agents that they send on the field. So most of them, most time during the election, are being manipulated. I'm sure INEC too haven't had experience of this major election that finished, and in the subsequent election that have gone in the recent time. INEC, they are improving by the day, and we are very sure that with the people also being on ground, to assist INEC to do better. And we can show that there is no perfect system in the world. So INEC is not perfect. But we are very sure that some of the mistakes INEC have also made before, gradually they are also improving. And they will do better, by God's grace, come 2024 in the state governorship election.
All right, let's look at both parties now, the PDP and the APC. For you, do you think it's going to be a straight fight between the PDP and APC, or you think the Labour Party, or maybe any other smaller party, might just upstage these two parties?
Yes, the truth is that don't take it or leave it, we have two major parties. It's the PDP and the APC. The Labour Party, you mentioned on the issue of sentiment, and on the issue of lot of anti-party that took place in the APC in the last election, in the last general election. In short, Labour Party was 65% funded by some ministers and governors in the APC as at that time, because they didn't want the present president to emerge. That was just the truth, and that was what gave Labour the opportunity they had. And Obi team had more funds, had more structure by way of the center, using the center opportunity to demystify. That was why it was only in one region that they had it, because it was in that region they were able to really spend so much in two regions, the south particularly. You know, they were able to say let us demystify, not knowing that God has prepared people in the north and in the part of the west, you know, to deliver to whom which he wants power to go to. But we don't have problem at all. We are very fine. Labour will certainly have their own fight for a long time now, and the fight in Edo is even higher than any other party. So I cannot even see Labour coming with a candidate that is part of them. What we already know that the PDP, some portion of the PDP, not the original PDP, the portion of the PDP have even brought Labour, and they have even cashed and carried. So that is why their internal lagging and internal crisis is still very much on, and I doubt if that can stop, because the original, the patriotic Labour Party people in Edo State, people like Upo and some others have tried, people like them, even Ultimate have even been trying to be put on one side. I mean, one love. So those are the people we knew at the time, you know, that even growing Labour in Edo, but those people right now are crying for help. They are crying for help. So Labour is out of who the other in the street. Know that even the candidates coming out under the platform of Labour do not even have the means to sell, do not even have structure. So you cannot continue to depend on those structure who did not even give the people the account balance of what they donated for them in the last election, and they don't intend to invest again in that kind of a project. So I can bet you the two parties are there, and even in the two party, the governor party, which is the faction of the governor in the PDP, and strangers in the PDP, I can confidently tell you that the original PDP who will have the right to vote will not vote anything from the governor state.
All right, let's look at the issue of violence, which we've seen during elections, off-cycle elections, the issue of violence, the issue of security. Are you confident we're going to have a secured elections in Edo State, and also looking at the security architecture of the state? What are your expectations?
I can bet you know, we cannot 100% be confident of anything, but with leadership we have seen of our that even all the institutions are being reformed, and with this reform that we are seeing, we are also confident with the new IG of police that we have seen its performance in recent time, and even that of armies and the Air Force. We can feel that everybody is on top to make Nigeria work. Everybody is putting heads together to see how we can have a reform and a refined Nigeria. Even the citizens are beginning to take it seriously and see that there is hope, and the renewed hope is around here. And we don't have a choice but to key into it. And I can confidently tell you, things will get better, and the security agencies will do better. Because when the head is full, every other body will follow.
All right, let's focus now on your principal, talking about Pastor Easy Iyamo. Let's look at him. If we put him side by side with the PDP aspirant who might, we're just assuming, let's assume Philip Shaibu is the man the PDP finally take as their man to stand in for these elections. What are the chances of him beating Philip Shaibu?
Philip Shaibu is a politician, just as I have told you, and he knows some of the nitty-gritty. Sort of like Pastor Saigi said, so you cannot be faster than your master, and that's going to show that he himself too. Even when they both will meet in the field, we must also understand that this was my master.
What are the power of incumbency? That advantage, the power of incumbency, wouldn't that count?
It is not a state election. The power of incumbency in the state can only exercise its preeminence when the federal chooses to look the other way, and when the federal chooses to be biased, when the federal chooses to be unfair. So I can bet you PDP or whoever that meetings from PDP cannot undermine us, because we are very ready and very ready. The reason why they did what they did under the administration of former President Buhari was because that Buhari told us it was going to be free and fair, and unfortunately his foot soldiers were doing otherwise, and we were taken unaware. Even a day to that election, most of our leaders were being arrested, most of our agents were being arrested, even with the tags we were wearing, our people were being undermined. Even with all of that, they saw the number of votes we were able to gather. But I am very sure that history will not forget and forgive the leadership of the APC at the national level at that time for how they were able to conspire against us in that election in a day. But only history will tell. Everything is transient. Power is not forever. They were there a few years ago or a few months ago. But I can bet you today they are no more there. And some of them are now here running at us better, praying for survival that the FCC and other agencies of government will not come after them. So that is why it's good we do things for posterity and history to judge us. Philip Shaibu is not our enemy. Philip Shaibu was going to the field not for war and not to come and fight. If he comes to fight, we are also in the field to win to fight. But if he comes for peace, we are also in the field to make sure we continue to play this game as brother and sister, and no one will hurt anyone. Philip Shaibu has been part of us. We have all been in a party together. We have all been colleagues. We have worked together in different facets. And I think there will be no need and no reason for us to fight. And we are all subject of the Oba of Benin, and we are all from the Benin Kingdom.
All right, let's just want to draw attention to the former APC chairman in the person of John Onyegu. He's been quiet for a while. Why do you think someone like John Onyegu has not been talking much as regards the politics in Edo State? Do you think he can play a key role in ensuring that this elections coming in September is going to be free, fair, and credible?
The former governor, John Onyegu, personally, I know he liked the person of Pastor Saigi Izeyamu very well. Only to the kind of politics Pastor Saigi Izeyamu plays. There is nobody who today can say this is what Pastor Saigi Izeyamu said against anybody. He's a very calm and action man. He doesn't talk, he doesn't make noise, he doesn't do things that you hold against him. But he's very focused. John Onyegu in the recent time too, we cannot really tell whether he's a APC or he's a PDP member. Because his action and his relationship have been more of PDP than APC. So we cannot really tell where he is. His relationship, and we have also found out and know very well that he has been so much celebrated by the governor of the Governor Obaseki in recent time and also in the past. And with the kind of celebration has not only been because he was a former governor, but has also had to point out to political alignment and political arrangement. Just the way he has been praising Comrade Saliu Oshomoletu in the recent time. And that has also given the fear to the party people that probably they have been more of anti-party and more of an alignment from Comrade Saliu with the opposition party. So John Onyegu, we also know he has not also been a violent person. He has also been a very calm person. So, but too, we cannot really predict where he is as of just now.
All right, I have just two questions for you. The last one will be, let's look at other stakeholders. The Oba of Benin, we know he's the head of the Edo Kingdom. How important is the Oba of Benin in this whole matter? And has the Oba of Benin given any body language as to who he supports or who he feels will lead the state to the right direction?
His Royal Majesty is unpolitical. His Royal Majesty, my father that I know, to whom which I have been one of those advocating for the palace and fighting because I'm from the kingdom. His Royal Majesty do not have a particular candidate or anybody that he's supporting. His Royal Majesty love everybody as a subject.
Is that good?
I am coming. His Royal Majesty, His Royal Majesty like everybody as a subject. I am a bread of the kingdom. People call me Oba Writer because I am also very close to the palace. Whether you are Benin, you are Isha, you are Donor, Oba Benin is open to everybody that can develop a do. Any governor that will not come and undermine the traditional institution like Governor Obaseki did by insulting the royal kingdom, the royal school at every point, by wanting to steal our artifact, by building,
can you prove that Governor Obaseki wanted to steal artifact? The artifacts. You have to be sure when you're making accusations.
Yes, we have a lot of proof to that. In short, tomorrow he's building one place he called a MOWA close to Central Hospital where he said was going to axe artifacts. And by the grace of God, that place we are going to expand it to the Central Hospital. Because that ordinary is a hospital. So he cannot come and turn an hospital to where he's going to ask an artifact that does not belong to him or to an individual. The artifacts all belong to Benin Kingdom. But however, we are praying that whoever becomes a governor must respect the traditional institution. We know that divide the kingdom. Governor Obaseki has tried to divide even those who are loyal to the kingdom by trying to create different schools in different local government. This is an aberration. And though people will not allow this to happen by the grace of God, because the man is not from Lagos now that is giving milk to breastfeed. The one that cannot speak his language and is going with interpreter from village to village and community to community. Even his own village is carrying interpreter, which is the person of Igodalo Aswen. So though people will not allow us to take this. He has not been with us. He doesn't know what we want.
All right,
he hasn't been with us. So anybody ordinary Governor Obaseki is carrying. No, it's not aspersion. We are telling you these are things that are verifiable. These are things that are on video. He himself carried video when he went to his village and carried interpreter to help him to be interpreting his own language. So you can see that it's not part of all. Democracy is for the people, by the people, and for the people. So if you are not for the people and it's not done by the people, then how then can you play a role? You can't govern them. We expect that we go back probably for the next 4 years and take a tutor to be teaching him his own language, after which he can then come back to aspire for anything, even if it is a councillorship position. But just to say that His Royal Majesty is unpolitical, even when some traditional institutions, traditional people visited the palace, he told them that they are not supposed to be political. Let everybody go and support whoever their parties want. These are parties affair, and it's not a state party affair. These are national working committee and the general party members' affairs.
Okay, my final question will be as regards you mentioned the fact that the Benis, the Ishans, and other tribes in Edo State together. But some people believe that the Benis seem to dominate the Edo State when it comes to governorship seats, and like the Ishans and others have not gotten their own fair share. What do you have to say about that?
I want to disagree with you. For the few persons who even came from Benin, they were not decided upon by Benin people. They were imposed on us. In short, it was by dictatorial godfathers, not even assume a normal godfather. They were with coercions. So even at that, how many governors have we had? You cannot be quoting military era where indeed they were using who's turn and who's not turn and what have you. But however, all the senatorial districts have had this share. Probably we cannot advance to local government now. We know all of this. Which are the local governments that are more backward? Which local governments are more backward? Those are the things we should be talking about. I am happy I'm talking to the press today. It is not just one particular person I'm talking to the whole. You can't be an Isha man, you will go home and be sleeping and you say it is your turn. The people should go and work for you and you just come and grab it. No, you cannot be moving at a point and think it is your turn. So even if you bring a puppet that other party can easily run, that party will just go. No. Even if you want to go by that. APC, for example, gave an opportunity, let's assume, quote unquote, somebody was imposed on us in the last election. Ordinarily, we were to do our 8 years under the platform of the AIDS. And this had just only 3 years, and he took our mandate to another party, for example. So APC had 4 years pending. by normal arrangement, if we want to even go by that. So we are not even by that. We need a governor that will develop Edo Center, Edo North, and Edo South. We don't want to be this backward by saying this is the person that is supposed to deliver. If you want to go by that, Edo South is 65% in the arrangement and the landscape of Edo, and even by population, while Edo North is 24, while the Isians are 16%. So if you want to go by all of this fraction, you will find out that even Edo South are taking anything. So we don't want to be we don't want to be senatorial arbitrarily desperate. We want to be Edo agenda driven. We don't want to be a particular region driven. So Edo agenda driven is what my principal Pastor Sagan was very concerned about. Even before Lady told Anene that, he told the Ishan people that Pastor Ando Sagan is more Ishan than Ishan people. That the only appeal will appeal to his people. That any time, many days, Seyamu comes out for election, they must give him support. It doesn't matter the party where he comes from. That it is only Seyamu that will give the Ishan people what they will never wish for. And he wasn't, he didn't make mistake on that when he was saying it.
All right, I want to say thank you for talking to us on Media Discourse, and I hope we'll be able to talk to Pastor Osage Izeyamu one of these days on our programs so we can get his perspective and probably ask him some very relevant questions, what he has in store for the people of Edo State.
Yes, thank you very much. By the grace of God, we are sure that we'll work on all of that. This period is very busy. Consultations are on every minute. Meetings are on. Negotiations are on. A lot of things are going on. But I can assure you, distant time, we are going to do work on all of that.
All right, I want to say thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to the spokesperson of one of the aspirants for the Edo governorship elections coming up in September. His comrade Collins Osage, very vibrant young man. Thank you for talking to us all the way from Edo State, and we'll be keeping in touch to get all the vibes and how ready Edo State is for the elections. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Make a correct is Osaga. Osaga.
Okay.
Osaga, yes. Thank you very
All
much.
right, thank you for that correction. All right, so that's how we're going to call it a wrap on today's edition of the program, Midday Discourse on Global Television. We've been talking with the spokesman for one of the in the elections coming up in September. We'll keep our fingers crossed and we'll keep a tab on the Edo State 2024 to give you the very best. My name is Anthony Momodu saying thank you for being part of the program today. Let's do this again tomorrow.